Hi, guys.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of the C Word Chronicles podcast.
The
Valentine's Day episode.
Valentine. Oh my gosh. Did y'all hold that in there so you didn't tell me?
Yeah, John showed
Who
me how to use
programmed
it.
that?
John. Well, I think it
Hit it
already,
one more time. That just spells Valentine. What did I used to call Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's, because it's time for Valentine.
Anyway, so this is our Valentine's Day episode. This is going to be light, fun, all things love. We're going to get into our love story, our love languages, and just all things you and me, baby, because part of the C word is not just cancer.
It's not just CEO.
It's not just CEO. It's couple. We are a couple.
Couple of losers.
Couple losers connecting on Valentine's Day. So let's get into just the daily or the weekly weather update. Today is balmy as hell.
What's balmy mean?
Balmy is like a little humid, fog, hot. It's so freaking humid.
It was foggy this morning.
And it was so foggy this morning.
Thick fog is what they call it.
As the thick fog rolls in from the north. But today, or later today, we're going to get a cold front coming in.
Yep. We were 70 today, and we're going to be 50s tomorrow, I think, right?
Yeah, it's going to keep dropping, so I'm really excited. I'm not ready for the heat. Like in Texas, it comes quick.
Like it's the summer heat?
Yeah, like March is it's either still super cold or it's really hot. Yeah. And I'm not ready for that yet. I feel like we haven't had any winter.
2 years ago today, I got a memory on Google. Guess what happened 2 years ago today? Weatherman, woman.
Snowmageddon. Snowvid. Oh my God, that was 2 years ago today. When in Texas, for people who don't know, like we were stranded. All of the city was no water, no electricity, because it was like mounds of snow in Texas, and we were not prepared. And then the grid for Texas shut down, and then we were having to use snow to flush toilets. We boiled snow to wash dishes. That was crazy.
We luckily had electricity. We had electricity. We didn't have water.
Yeah, we never lost power, but we didn't have water. And it was so freaking cold.
There's every man for himself in that house. Really.
Okay, and I remember one of my best memories though is we rescued my mom.
Yeah, how did
which
we do
is
that?
where we are now. We're at my mom's house in her art studio that we converted into.
And she painted
a podcast studio. Yeah, she has all her art around us, all her drawings back here, so it feels very cozy to be surrounded by Mama Delfina. Thank you, Mom, for letting us use your podcast studio. It's just closer.
The new stew.
We needed to be closer. My mom was a mile away, and the studio that we were using was not a mile away, and it was kind of expensive. It's just kind of
but they're cool.
But yeah, Snowvid was my best memory of that was when we got her, and we had to go get forage snow to flush the toilets.
Why do we have so many buckets?
Dishes. We had, for some reason, because we were painting when we were renovating the house, we had those 5-gallon paint buckets.
Luckily,
we live behind a golf course.
We just bougie.
It's a subtle flex. No, just kidding. But we live behind a golf course, and there was a bunch of free snow there. So me and my mom went to go shovel snow, and then we had a system going, and then you would take it and boil it and put it in the bathtub.
And we had to put it in the toilet tanks.
Yeah, I know. It was awful. So that was a year. That was 2 years ago today.
That was 2 years ago today, and then do you remember one of our dreams for our house was to get agave plants in the front.
Oh my God. I was going for this really modern, those blue agaves, that nice silvery tone with our black rock and our black and white house. It was such a vibe.
I had a neighbor who had who doesn't have any grass in her front lawn, and so it's xeriscaped, and so she has these big old agave. She had these big old agave plants. She's like, you can have these, and these are the types that are $200, $300, $400. And so we got some help, and some guy dragged them over, planted them. We finally got agave for free.
They look so good, too.
Huge ones for free.
They were huge. They were probably as tall as me, 5.
And then Snowvid happens, and they all die.
They all died.
I was waiting years for that.
Devastating.
We got them for free.
Devastating. So that's the weather update. And then it is Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. So we're coming off of Riri's concert featuring some football players, i.e. the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Rihanna had more viewers for the Super Bowl than the actual Super Bowl.
I know she did because she's that.
That's crazy. She's that
bitch.
She did good.
She did great. She announced that she's pregnant.
We were wondering why she wasn't moving.
Okay.
Like normal.
Yeah, because I thought she was still. She is technically postpartum. I thought she was like recently just popped out a baby. It's been a while, and like it's been a good minute.
Really? Like how long?
I don't know. I think she had her baby in May. So she's pregnant again, and that was like the big drama of like everybody was saying, don't make fun of her postpartum body. Everybody's at their own pace, like getting it back. Yeah. And she ended up being actually pregnant. And I remember thinking that too. I was like, oh, she looks great. Yeah. Like postpartum, okay, little tummy here, there. Who cares? Like work it, whatever. Yeah. You're on like the biggest stage in the world. And then she revealed that she was actually pregnant.
I forgot how many hits she has. Like how many?
She sang 30 songs in that.
She did? 30?
Yeah, like a mashup of 30 songs.
And each one was like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she has bangers, man. I freaking love Rihanna.
She, All of the Lights.
She's so pretty.
Run This Town.
She's a billionaire because of her makeup brand, Fenty Beauty, which is like a really inclusive makeup brand. She was like, ain't nobody putting makeup shades dark enough, light enough, different undertones enough. Is that what that was?
Is that what makes it so good?
Yeah. So wait, the quality is great.
There was no makeup for dark complected people?
There were, don't get me wrong, but that was like a big pillar of like what she wanted to bring to the table. Like,
what did she do different?
She just brought a ton of darker skin tone shades. Like you would probably, like if you were a girl, you would probably have a hard time.
Yeah. But I'm light. Good thing I'm lighter of the skin.
Mm-hmm. Like you would probably have a hard time finding your tone, like your undertone.
Someone would.
And so
someone darker than me would.
I bet Fenty Beauty you would
Fenty 440.
You would find
from Wakanda yesterday.
Yes. So anyways, so Super Bowl was really good.
It was a good game too. It could have went down as a classic, and it came down to a holding call at the end, which I don't know. I guess you got to call it. Even the player said he said he held, but I don't know. But the Chiefs won, and Mahomes within his 4 years starting, has won 2 Super Bowls already. Went to 3, and
he's great. I didn't know. I saw today, this morning, that his dad was a professional baseball player.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure I saw that on...
We all know his brother's a professional dancer.
What's his name?
Jackson.
From the Jackson
Mahomes.
5. He's annoying as hell.
I just hear how annoying he is.
No, I think his dad was a professional baseball player. Because
Mahomes?
they showed a picture of his dad in the 90s holding Patrick Mahomes. Oh, wow. And they were like... This is one of the great, this is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy.
I thought you would have known that.
Uh-huh. I don't get into family relations. It's more about the sport.
Right.
Keeping it pure.
Right. But the game was good. At first, I was like, okay, Eagles, go off.
Yeah,
like,
they were doing
good.
Why'd you want the Eagles to win?
I think the quarterback's cute.
Yeah, she looks like me.
Okay. Jalen Hurts.
He's good, too.
He's very good. I also liked his game day fit. Like when they walk in, they do Patrick Mahomes, we got to get you a stylist, baby. Like the 3-piece suit in the Oakleys, it's just not a vibe.
Yeah,
it's not a vibe.
It's good because it fits him. So it's a vibe.
I suppose, yeah.
Like if you don't know the players,
it's just
like,
I didn't like it. Maybe we can put like an overlay of it, but it was like this.
But like if Jalen Hurts sucked and he walked in with that, then it's like he's not really a vibe.
Yeah, but his fit was really cool. Yeah. It was like a little more casual.
Once you know the players,
and then like of course Travis Kelce killed.
I didn't see
his walk up.
What did he wear? A robe?
Like a long coat. I think it was like a Louis Vuitton coat with the matching bag.
Yeah, we have that.
Mm-hmm.
Work.
Yeah. So everybody looked really good, except for him.
He looked good.
Patrick Mahomes. I didn't like it, babe. I don't like it. I don't like his hair. I don't like his fit.
Yeah, but that's...
I don't like the vest. And then I don't mind if you're going to do it. I just don't like the colorway. I just don't like
I'm not saying he's the best dressed out there, but like he's been consistent with his style.
That's true.
And so in a way, that's...
consistently ugly.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I was trying to find the laughing one.
You guys, did you program that whole thing?
Wait.
Oh,
Consistently ugly.
Yay. That's me. But that's our sports update.
That's the sports update. So let's get into our first segment that we always do. We got to do the peaks and pits.
Okay, that's for Valentines.
Yeah. So where did we leave off last episode? We were coming back from Houston.
Were we? I don't remember where we came.
I think so. Yeah.
There's so much that happened.
Yeah, we talked about our whole experience at MD Anderson when we stayed.
Oh yeah. What did I do there?
What do you mean? What did you do there?
What did I get done there?
You met with Dr. Kamen.
Oh, that was my first.
This was your first thing. We stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel.
I feel like I've met them 100 times.
Yeah, and then they the big one was that you got CT scans.
Yeah.
And
no significant
growth in the neck or chest.
Yes.
We were waiting on the PET scan, and we were also, that was it. We were waiting on the PET scan.
I feel like so much has happened.
I know.
Since that point, right?
When we were like writing down peaks and pits, I was having a hard time. I was like, where are we within this whole thing? So, do you want to do your?
Yeah, my peak is that my brain MRI came back and there's nothing in the brain. I should have known that, how smart I've been feeling these past couple days.
Right. I was like, that I can agree for once that there is nothing in the brain.
That's what she said. That's the first thing you said when I came home was there's nothing in it. No, there's literally no cancer in the brain.
They were like, there's no significant structures in the brain. No,
so that was good. So there's like no metastases there.
That was a big one. We were like holding our breath. When did you get this?
I was holding my breath. You forgot that I had a brain MRI.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. Just that one day I forgot we were waiting on it. Of course, I didn't forget. But when did you get that?
I got it on, so today is the 14th, right? And I got it on Friday. So the Friday, a couple days ago, which was like the 11th.
Okay.
And so I got it back, and I was worried because I was like, man, if it is in the brain. And there's some people that do have it in their skull. I don't know if it's actually in their brain, but...
No, I've read some in the brain.
And so it's good. And also, peak, I got my PET scan back.
Yes.
PET stands for PET. I don't know what it stands for. But
the PET stands for PET?
PET stands for PET. It's not like your pet at home, but it's a test that... I need you to say the full thing once you figure out what PET means.
Positron emission tomography.
Yes, you're right. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Emission
Megatron
tomography.
And I got that back, and we knew it was in the lungs. We knew there was some lymph nodes of the neck, but there's not really any spread anywhere else in my body, which is a big thing for a cancer like this. But there's a small, like the width of a golf ball size spot in my hip, specifically in the acetabulum. Not ASS, but ACE, acetabulum. So I got to get radiation for that. But overall, I think that's still a peak because it's not like in any soft tissue organs.
Yeah. So we were waiting for the PET scan results, thinking they were gonna. It was like we were prepared and thinking the worst. Like your cancer was going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Like in major organs, the bone, the spine, because that was like not a popular one, but like.
Well, no, because I was having back pain.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. It's in my hip.
So it's in the right posterior capsule of your acetabulum.
Yeah.
The acetabulum is more like your pelvis versus like the outside of your hip.
Yeah, it's right where the pelvis and the hip connect. So
it's there. So the next steps is you're going next week.
All next week is like marathon of appointments, like a 5K, if you will.
Yeah.
And radiation every day, 5 days a week. 5 days of the week next week, so Monday through Friday.
Right.
And each one is like 15 to 20 minutes, at least that's what they said.
Yeah.
I got tatted up last week.
You got tatted? They had to mark where they're going to place the beams.
Yeah. I never thought my first tattoos would be what I got, but it's funny. Like when you're getting prepared for radiation, you walk into the room. So this was last week when I was at MD Anderson, and they're like, okay, take all your clothes off and put a gown on. And I was like, oh, man, I didn't know I had to get completely naked and put a gown on. But I was like, it is what it is. And they just put you into a machine. And as they're getting you set up for the machine, they just, like, lift nicely. They're like, hey, we have to lift your gown up. And so, like, everything. Like, they got to put a towel right over my junk. And big towel, by the way. It's like,
you're like, we're need a beach towel?
They're like, is that the tumor? And so they had to put a towel right over your junk.
It's so
and,
stupid.
Like, not that I didn't feel like violated or anything. I just think I was
you
like,
just weren't expecting.
I was like, oh, I didn't know it's
okay.
that kind of CT.
This is why we pivot. We're pivoting.
And I was like, okay, whatever, and just chilling, making sure, like, I'm used to this, and
you're used to what?
And so they put a towel over it, and you're laying there with this, like, you're laying down in a CT machine with your balls hanging out, and they're just like scanning you. And I'm pretty hairy. Not like my junk is hairy, but like just chest hair and like happy trail. And this lady just busted out a trimmer and just like is trimming spots on my.
She did? You didn't tell me that?
Yeah, she trimmed my.
Oh, that's
not
true.
On my, not in my pubic
on
hair.
your waist,
like my waist.
Your stomach.
Yeah, my stomach, and I'm kind of ticklish. So like when you touch there, so I'm like tensing up, and like the towel's moving. It's like a whole ordeal. And anyways, they get everything they need to get, and then she comes back. She's like, "Okay, we're ready to put the tattoos." And I was like, okay, like, I was like, how long do these last? Like, 3 months, like 6 months, something like that. She's like, these are permanent. I was like, excuse me, permanent? I was like, yeah, these are lifelong. And I was
She's like, that's a tattoo.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, is there like, what's
the definition of a tattoo?
I was like, I'll take the 6 month option. She's like, no, these are the permanent ones. So I literally right now have 3, they look like just like moles, whatever, birthmarks.
Yeah, they look like little freckles.
I got tatted up, guys.
You did.
Yeah, might as well get sleeves now.
You've been wanting a tattoo forever, and more so since this diagnosis and this big life change.
Yeah. You showed me one that was cool.
You've been wanting one. Yeah, I saw one on TikTok that was really cool.
Yeah,
that I think.
But
then it's like, where do you like? I can see you with tattoos, but I don't necessarily know where.
I love where Steph Curry has his.
Where is that?
He has it like on his wrist, on his bicep.
But they're like spots. A little daintier.
Yeah, I'm like a dainty kind of tattoo person.
Yeah, they're like not a full thick tribal sleeve.
Yeah, I want it to be like obviously there, but it's like at the same time like hidden. Is that what dainty means? I feel like that's.
Yeah, like just a little finer line.
Fine.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. So that's I don't know what the topic we were on.
That was your peak.
My peak was the pet and it was the brain MRI.
So yeah, no, that as was mine, of course.
Yeah.
That was a big win because we were a little nervous about the brain MRI just because it's like your brain, man. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's just so. I think that's probably for me at least like one of the scarier organs or like structures to have cancer. Or it just sounds so.
Yeah. Well, then it's like do a lot of the medications. Like I don't know this, but it's the first thought that comes to my head is like do a lot of the medications. Can they pass the blood-brain barrier and affect the brain? And can you do radiation? Like it's more questions. I feel like, and it just feels like the prognosis is worse.
Yeah. So it was a big win. Big win.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay. What was mine? Where is it? Shoot. Where did it go?
Your peak for the week?
My peak for the week. Oh, hang on.
You don't remember your peak?
Nope. I have to look at it. I can't remember anything. Like if I'm trying to make a list or like a mental list, I have to write it down or else I don't know what it is. Like I went to the grocery store the other day thinking, oh, okay, I need to get my mom flowers for Valentine's. I wanted to get you like your gift yesterday. And then I wanted to get Juju something. And it's so simple. I knew exactly. But the minute I get into the store, I forget everything.
Is it Target?
Yeah, it's Target.
Did you have to pee?
No.
Did you have that thing where every time you go into Target you have to pee?
Yeah, but I don't like the Target bathrooms anymore. They don't keep them very clean.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my peak was that so far we've been having a great Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
I think so far, as just because we got the news of your brain scan being clear, that was like, that was already like the best Valentine's Day gift ever.
Yeah.
And I just think we're in like a really good place right now, and we have Juju. Like this is our first Valentine's Day with him.
I keep telling him Valentine's for the boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I was trying to find a shirt for him for Valentine's Day, they don't have any like shirts.
Oh, was that not a boy shirt we got?
It was, but that was like the only one I could find. I wanted to find like a onesie or like pajamas, Valentine's Day pajamas, and they have of course a ton for girls, which I didn't mind putting him in. But I just wanted a boys, 9 to 12 month onesie, and they didn't have anything. I think Valentine's Day should be for everybody.
Valentine's for the boys.
Valentine's for the boys. I was saying earlier, like when Gigi's in college, I'm going to send him flowers.
Yeah.
Like Valentine's Day flowers. Yeah. They're pretty. Who doesn't like all that stuff?
I think you will.
Yeah. Speaking of Valentine's Day, I've been meaning to give you this gift.
What is the surprises?
This is not a Valentine's Day gift, but this, I guess, on behalf of my mom.
Your mom got me that?
Yeah. And I've been meaning to give it to you forever, so I feel what better time?
Like before, this is not, this is before Valentine's. This wasn't for Valentine's Day, but my mom loves you, so. What is this?
We'll just do it for Valentine's Day.
Ooh, she got me a cancer hoodie.
Yeah. It's specific to thyroid cancers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
The colors.
Yeah. What's the color?
That's their, how like breast cancer is pink?
What's ours?
Those are the colors.
Was it pink, teal, and purple?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How did she know that?
She looked it up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Mom. You're going to see this and be like, you haven't given it to him yet? But I've been wanting to give it to
Mom.
you on
Using your house
on the podcast. I just forgot.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that was the color.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
I like the warrior.
That's a cool outline. Which is sad, but there is a big community of like the thyroid cancer awareness stuff.
Oh, is this from that website? That thyroid cancer
I think it's
awareness?
from Amazon, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And she just wanted you to feel support. She got me a shirt too, so I'll wear it.
Oh, what is your colors?
What do you mean? It's the same thing.
Did you get red, white, and blue for America? Oh, this is awesome. Thanks, guys, for thyroid cancer awareness, spread awareness. Obviously, I just found out, so I'm becoming more aware that none of those are the colors.
Well, I think that's like a bigger thing that I wanted to talk about is there's awareness for other cancers, but you know which cancer has the biggest.
There's something else.
Oh, what else? Oh yeah, she got you bookmarks.
Oh, nice.
Read that. I think it's cute.
This whole thing?
Or I think it's sweet.
What cancer cannot do? Cancer is so limited. It cannot cripple love. It cannot shatter hope. It cannot corrode faith. It cannot destroy peace. It cannot kill friendship. It cannot suppress memories. It can't silence courage. It can't invade the soul. It can't steal eternal life. And it can't conquer the spirit. Author unknown. That's what it says.
I think that's cool. I think that's so true too.
We give thanks to God and the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, praying always for you. Colossians 1:3. Is Colossians New Testament or Old Testament?
I don't know.
That's right. We got to get the Bible out.
I don't know. But I thought that was sweet, and she just wanted you to have that.
I'm going to wear this next week.
Yeah. I'll wear mine too.
What are you supporting?
Supporting your dumbass's cancer.
Just kidding. Well, thanks, Mom.
Yes.
Appreciate it. You can always add on the golf membership, too.
Okay. This boy has been trying to get my mom to give him a golf membership. And the minute he got cancer, he's like, you think she'll pay for the golf membership?
What better time to ask than when you have cancer? Country Club, Fair Oaks Country Club. Okay. $500 a month.
Okay, what's your pit? No, what's your pit?
My pit this is not like a bad thing. I think it's going to come off really bad. But after I had my surgery on December 27th, UT Southwestern takes the tumor out of your body and sends it to the pathology lab where they slice it up and put it in slides, and they look at the cells and they're able to tell what kind of cancer it is. Mm-hmm. And they said it was poorly differentiated thyroid carcinoma. And UT Southwestern is like a big hospital, ain't like it ain't like Grey's Anatomy, you know what I'm saying? Okay. But it's a pretty big hospital. And, they do this pathology reports all the time. And so when you go to MD Anderson, if you're going from another hospital to MD Anderson, MD Anderson has to redo everything. Mm-hmm. Every test you got done,
just so it's like standard in their
SOP, standard operating procedure. If you're going to talk business, let's use the good acronyms. sorry. SOP. I learned that yesterday.
SOB?
That's what I said too. No, it's SOP. And so SOP for MD Anderson is, they have to redo everything. Anyways, they asked for the specimen is what we call it, the tumor, and all the slides from UT Southwestern. Right. And they sent it over to MD Anderson. Right. And so MD Anderson reran the pathology report. Now, the pit is, I got a call. backtrack. On Friday, I got, radiation done, or I got the radiation planning done.
Yes.
And I met with the nurse practitioner, and she was really sweet. But there's this one point in our conversation, she was like, "Oh, do you know your prognosis? And do you know everything?" And I was like, yeah. They told me, everything, will be good. It's going to be a long road. But, for the most part, the key is to find it stable and just get through it. And anyways, she's like, okay. She's like, okay, let's just schedule an appointment with your doctor for the week, just to talk more about that. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. But in my head, I was like, that was weird.
Yeah.
Like, what do you know? Anyways, I forgot about it. Got a call yesterday and from my doctor, and she was like, and she's really nice. I think there's just some miscommunication. She was saying, so the radiologist told you have anaplastic cancer. And I was like, anaplastic's like the worst.
You don't want anaplastic, yeah.
Like, you don't want that. Like, that's like death and...
Well, we shouldn't say that for the people who are probably like, I have anaplastic
Well, it is the
cancer.
worst type of thyroid cancer you
Yeah.
can get.
It's on the spectrum.
Not the good
The
kind.
end of the spectrum.
Yeah. And so I was like, what? And she's like, there was a small part on your tumor that had it. She's like, literally it says, my cancer is poorly differentiated still, but with the possible with the anaplastic component, and then another follicular component. And so obviously you're freaked out. And so that was kind of the pit where it's like, okay, like the tumor was turning into like anaplastic. But the good things are still like,
right.
In 1 month from my scans that I got in December to now, nothing's really grown. Which, and if it was anaplastic,
if it was truly anaplastic, yeah, it would have spread everywhere.
But, it makes things more like, we can't wait like another month for a scan. We want to start treatment and be more aggressive sooner because, hey, if the tumor turned into that, is there a chance what's in your body now can turn into that?
Right.
At least that's what I'm thinking, how I'm understanding it right now.
Right. And I mean, nothing, and she was even confident, like, this doesn't mean you have anaplastic cancer, anaplastic thyroid cancer. Your cancer is still poorly differentiated thyroid carcinoma, right?
Yeah, I mean,
with a anaplastic component.
That's what the tumor was.
Yeah, right.
And so they want to treat me as if I'm anaplastic, which makes sense. But
so just a little bit more aggressive with the TKIs and stuff.
Yeah, aggressive with the timing and things like that. But I don't know. It's like one of those things, like you get these test results and it's like, oh my gosh. Like,
I know. It's one of those things, like when you told me that, of course, over the phone, it's just one of those things like, oh God, okay. And you almost feel like, at least for me, starting to feel, I don't know if indifferent is the right word, but I just start feeling like, okay. Like, because again, I say all the time, like, you're just so tired of being so sad and scared all the time. So I don't know if maybe this was a good response on my end, like maybe I like to protect myself. But when you told me, I was like, okay, well, and you told me the plan nothing changes. They're just going to be a little bit more aggressive with the existing plan. So in my head, I was like, all right, there's a plan. Nobody gave like the morbid, you have 6 weeks to live type thing.
I think the change is, I think there's always that component of like, yeah, we understand that this cancer can change from one to another. But I think seeing that, hey, it did kind of, there was a component of your tumor that was anaplastic. It's more like, okay, it changed. What made it change? Let's start moving quicker as if it's anaplastic.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And that, I think was really a bummer, but I think at this point we're just kind of like rolling with the punches with, okay, we're in the right place. I know you talked to Julie, one of the leader of the support group, which was really helpful.
She's very helpful. She's really helpful because she talks with so many people with all different types of poorly differentiated thyroid carcinomas. And I mean, I hope I'm able to help someone like she's helping me.
I think so, yeah.
One day.
Or even now, just talking about it on this podcast that we haven't shared with anybody yet. But once this drops, like, who knows who's going to see this in terms of somebody who has
it's such a weird
cancer
thing because she keeps telling me too. She's like, you got to understand, like this. She always tells me, and I always got to remember. She's like, when you hear cancer, typically you find someone who's either gonna survive it and go into remission, or they unfortunately don't make it.
Yeah.
She's like, but with thyroid cancer and the type that we have. She's she's like, you have to think of it as a chronic illness. It's the rest of your life.
It's so hard to shift your brain.
Ups and downs, testing, and just constantly looking at it. And she's like, if it's anaplastic, and she's like, that's okay. There are people that are like that. And, she gives me the reinsurance and I'm at the right place. And she's going through something similar. And I mean, different differences as well. But I don't know. I think the biggest too is like her confidence in it too. Gives me hope as well.
Oh, I know. Me too. Same. And the doctors who relayed this information weren't panicked or weren't like the other doctor that we've had that we talked about. Dr.
Hussein, can you imagine?
Who like if she were to deliver that little nugget, she'd be like, pack your bags or like something.
She would tell me something crazy.
Yeah. So I think it was like with that, I didn't feel the enormity of it. Of course, it is a change, but I don't know. I think we both kind of felt like at peace with maybe that information. I don't know, because
I wouldn't say I was. I mean, I was more so like,
I don't think at peace is the right word.
What the heck, like, I don't know, but it was more so like I think it was the conversation where she was like, she said the words anaplastic, so you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, and it kind of scared you a little bit. Not to minimize the fact that you were like scared, of course.
Yeah, and then after she says that, you're waiting for the brain MRI to come back because you're like,
oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh my gosh, like there's an anaplastic component. Was that the component? Like, did it spread quickly in my head?
Yeah.
And then I'm already, I mean, even like you're already thinking like they already scheduled another. Right now, they have me scheduled for another brain MRI next week, and I'm like, why am I doing two? Yeah. And it's not like this, but I start thinking.
Well, but didn't they accidentally book you? Like it was just an error.
I don't know. It's still on there. I asked, but it's like, oh, why are they booking two brain MRIs? Did they mess up on the first one and they need to do a different type of brain MRI to catch what's in there?
Yeah.
You start like being.
Well, like, I can only imagine. Paranoid. I feel like you could get a little paranoid with it, or like hyper vigilant over like what they're testing. Why are they testing? Why are they doing again? And like, I think what kind of tripped you up and what made us both a little bit more paranoid is because UT Southwestern took the same sample.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
what they
never
did.
mentioned anaplastic components. So it makes you kind of like, what?
Like, how did UT Southwestern in a top hospital? At least that's what I hear. How did that and MD Anderson come up with two different pathology reports? That's the part I don't get.
And that kind of I don't get either. Like, I have no idea why or like what that means.
Yeah.
But it definitely was one of those things where we were like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
You start to get a little more paranoid.
Yeah. Tomorrow I meet with Mahadevan. He's the doctor, the oncologist here in San Antonio. And he was the one that I met a while ago. He was a peak on our first episode, I think. And just excited to meet him and go over the pathology again with him.
Yeah, he should be good. He should give you some. Well, he should give you some insight.
Insight, at least, yeah.
That'll be good. Yeah. Okay, my pit. My pit is our son, Julian Oscar Thomas, Juju.
Our son made a pit.
Keeps waking up at night. Like I think it's been 7 to 10 days of him waking up like at 3-ish just to eat, and then he goes back to sleep. But I can't feed him any more food during the day to keep him satiated.
You want to eat it
throughout the night.
You try to.
Yeah, like we're doing our solids, we're doing the formula, we're doing the increasing. He's just hungry.
And yesterday he did that thing you're feeding him. I was watching. You're feeding him ground beef, and he literally you put it on his table. He took it. The first time I seen him do it, took it, looked over the edge of the high chair, and just dropped it. And was just staring at it, and took another one. Was looking at it.
I was like, no, sir. I was like, you're. And so that's just been my pit, my pit, because it's not him. This is a very like normal part of development where they're trying to catch their hunger. They're trying to catch up with it, and he's expending so many calories because he's just crawling and standing and cruising all over the place. So it's not that. It's the fact that I cannot go to sleep after I feed him. And he drinks and goes back to sleep like nothing. Yeah. It's probably like a 15, 20-minute ordeal. But I stay up for hours after because I just can't go back to sleep. Yeah. And it's so annoying.
And one night he woke up just because he was scared. I think he was scared.
Yeah, one night after we came back from Houston. So like we've noticed that if we go somewhere, which we've been going everywhere, he takes a couple of nights to adjust like where he is. Like I swear he woke up, he was so confused, poor baby, like where he was.
He's like, ah. Yeah. And like he's not like normal cry, it's like ah.
Yeah. And so anyways, I just have not been getting consistent sleep, and it's starting to show. I feel it. I start to get a little bit more like moody and depressed, and I don't feel productive during the day. I'm so slow and sluggish just because I'm if he wakes up at 3, I'm probably going to bed like 5:30 by the time and then he wakes up at 7.
Yeah.
Or 7:30.
Yeah, like all on the dot.
Yeah, so I'm like dang it.
No give or
so
take.
it's just kind of like it's catching up to me, hence our coffee, but
a peak for you could be True Fusion too.
Yeah, that's right. So I started that was last week. Yeah.
After the podcast.
I started doing the classes Rib's been going to, which have been really great.
Freaking hard.
I like them, but they're so hard. I'm so out of shape.
Yeah.
I am so out of shape. Like we used to do Orange Theory for before our wedding, and that was like hard and good, but these classes are like just, I don't know if it's me because I'm just so out of shape, like physically. I'm just not
they're
like
hard.
strong.
But everyone in that class, I haven't seen somebody just like go through it and be like, that was easy.
Yeah, they're just hard, but they're good. And so I've been liking going there and just kind of like trying to keep up with it. And then I've been doing yoga, which I used to do hot yoga when I lived in Houston to do another clinical rotation. Hot yoga. I used to love it. I was like so good at it.
Vinyasa.
Yeah, but now it's like so hard. Everything's just so hard, which I feel like new parents or like at least postpartum moms, which we're going on Gigi's going to be a year next month, but I still feel very like postpartum, especially with all the stuff going on, like the stressors and life and everything. And
there wasn't really like a postpartum time.
I didn't have like time. Like I said, my word for 2023 is to recover, and this is like a good part of it. But I feel so weak and so out of like condition and shape. So I'm trying to be gentle on myself and just go. And I just said, I'm just going to go.
A lot.
It's hard because I'm competitive, and I know you are too. Like when you're in the class, it's hard to be like, I'm going to take it easy. And like, you know, I'm going to like go like mild on this one. And then like if I see somebody next to me, like.
If she's not stopping, I'm not stopping.
So it's tough to do that, but I have to tell myself like, chill out.
Yeah, they're good classes.
So I'm just trying to show up as frequently as I can, book something, don't think a lot about it, and just show up and leave and like try and do that. But it's been hard to do when I haven't been getting much sleep.
But you still do it.
Yeah, I still show up.
You still been going.
I can only imagine like what some good sleep under me would.
Yeah, for sure.
Do. Okay. Did you do your pit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cancer.
Okay. Oh yeah, cancer. So let's get into our next segment, which is all things V-Day, all things love. So let's start. I think this would be interesting because on my Instagram, I have had, when I feature you, I've always had questions about.
That's what I mean.
Just not you, just what you doing, what you up to. No, but a lot of people have just been interested in kind of like our love story. So I thought we could like dive into how we met and then go from there. And then I think we have like a really unique perspective because we're a biracial couple and
interracial.
Interracial couple.
Biracial.
So let's get into it. Let's start with our love story on this Valentine's Day.
I don't call this my love story. I call it
the end of your life. The C word.
Or when I got cancer.
Stop.
When I started getting cancer. But we were both dating different people in PT school. Mm-hmm. You know, not even thinking about.
Not at all.
Didn't look your way.
Okay.
Didn't look your way once.
Mm-hmm.
But you were always good looking in graduate school. I remember you had the white dress on and you walked in. Shout out to my ex. Because I was dating her at the time.
Oh, she was with you when you. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because that was like the award. award ceremony, which was like the first year of graduate school.
Yeah, so we got into our PT program in 2013, and we were both dating other people. Yeah. And then
I just looked
in the summer of 2014, we got put into like a small group. Just the way our PT school works was, I can't remember what they're called.
We're problem-based learning, and they were just small groups you broke out into.
Yeah, so it was in the summer, and I remember that because that song, When I Met You in the Summer.
Is that Rihanna?
No, that's Calvin Harris, I think. Anyways, but that was such a fun group.
No, that's Rihanna.
No, baby.
Oh, okay.
So we got put into that small group with one of my besties, Nicole, Christina, and some other
Brady. Wasn't Brady Caffey?
I think Brady was in there. Shout out. And then
Brady Caffey, right?
Mm-hmm. And then Matt Martinez.
Matt Martinez in the class?
Yeah. Anyway, so it's a very small group. So, and it was over the summer. And PT school is just hard and intense and rigorous. Like in general. So you really like get close with your group. So we just started, me, you, Nicole, and Christina were like, just besties. And then I think it was just like,
just friends.
We were truly just friends. But I remember just being friends with you, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is just so unique. And I had never met anybody like you before. You were really like, it's so...
Yeah, it seemed natural, like the friendship.
Yeah.
And like, we had the same interest. And
and we would like...
we're just joking and laughing.
Yeah, we would just joke around all the time and like fart around and stuff. And then... it's so funny because I remember we were doing a happy hour, like the girls in my PT school. And I remember you came up and I was like, I just love this. I truly was just as if I was like, I just love Ribu. Like, I love his soul. I love his spirit. And then it just did not hit me until it hit me that you were like the love of my life.
I was thinking of a funny story too, like when we were just like friends and talking and nothing going on, but I remember I lived in an apartment by myself, and I'm not like dirty, but I don't do a good job of cleaning after myself right away. So like if I can go like 4 or 5 days, and it's like, and it's not like food left out on the counter. It's just like a Chick-fil-A bag that was,
laundry
empty
or like socks,
and like I'll just come back home from working out and put it in the hamper and be like, fuck, I'm like a week behind on laundry, and like things like that will be around the house, or like I'm studying and my book is open. And I just leave it there. But it like accumulates over a week. And I remember y'all were like tired or going to study or something. And for some reason, y'all were like, hey, do you mind if we just use your apartment? And I was going to be at school and y'all were going to use it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's messy, but y'all can go. And when I come back to the apartment and y'all have left by then, it's spick and span. Y'all cleaned the whole thing.
That wasn't because of me. That was because of Christina. She got a trash bag and got to work. And in my head, I was like, absolutely not. Who can live like this? This is so awful and dirty and blah, blah, blah. Me and Nicole were like, who can live like this, blah, blah, blah. And then, I let it slide because I just fell in love.
Look at me now, clean.
Look at you now, clean. Still your shit all over the house. We were just friends, and then we started dating, and then we I think started dating in almost 2015.
Yeah, like later.
So, and then we graduated in 2016. So we did PT school together for half of the time we were there. Yeah. And it was great. And PT school was better because of you. We never really studied a lot together.
We did a lot of studying together for the boards.
For the boards. But I remember in school, there were a bunch of little girls who just loved studying with you because you were so patient and you were so...
They were helpful too.
You were so... Rib was one of those who's he's probably the smartest, but you would never know because he's very humble about it.
Okay.
You just
You're
don't...
You're so nice to me right now. Saying everything so nice.
Well, because this is Valentine's Day.
Yeah. That's right.
And I love you. But yeah, he's definitely the smartest in the room, and you just wouldn't know because he didn't showboat about it, but everybody knew you were freaking smart.
One of them.
So a lot of people would want you to study with them, and I was too proud. I was like, I don't need you to study. I'm
But you're
good.
pretty smart yourself. You had a study group too, right?
Not really. Like I always kind of studied by myself and did my own thing. But so being in PT school was great. And then we did, like in the last episode, we went to Houston together for 16 weeks doing a clinical rotation together. And that was the first time we like lived together by ourselves.
That was a lot of fun. And it's such an important thing to do if you can live with your girlfriend.
I think so too.
Get a good understanding of
and it was really easy. I had never lived with somebody before that.
Yeah. That was pretty clean.
You were better for sure. Yeah.
Clean.
And I was
very clean.
And like cooking together and
cleaned every night, cleaned the kitchen every night.
Okay. And
laundry every day.
But it was fun. So we that's where we really got to know each other, fell in love. Yeah. We were really compatible. I wasn't super, we're both not type A people, which I think is why we mesh.
Are we type B?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know what other types there are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. So a lot of stuff we were really compatible with, and we just went with the flow and communicated a lot throughout that time. But what the big thing I think with our relationship in the beginning was coming from different backgrounds and our parents having different expectations for what they wanted to
your mom was more chill and
you
brought a former boyfriend home.
Yeah. And you have never before.
I never told my parents about it, that I was ever dating anyone.
Yeah, they thought you were just never had any girls. Meanwhile, you had a good amount of girlfriends. I was gonna say, but they just never knew any. You just didn't tell your parents. Yeah. So I told my mom relatively quickly, just that there's this cute boy in my class, and we're whatever. And so I'm Mexican American, and she was like, oh, okay. And my ex-boyfriend was Mexican American. And so she's like, well, what does he look like? Da, da, da. So I pull up your Facebook. She's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, he's
caught off guard.
Indian.
You know what makes it worse when you say my name too?
Yeah. She's like, what's his name? And
you automatically think I have an accent.
Well, yeah.
I'm just.
And I was like, and it's not like my mom was like, no, don't date him. She's like, oh, okay, whatever.
You got to tell him how when you showed your friend's uncle, who y'all were.
I remember. So I told my best friend, and I'm close with their family, and so I went over there for dinner or something, and my best friend's like, Liv has a new boyfriend, or Liv has a new boy. And she's snarking and he's Indian. Yeah. And what did they say? And I remember vividly, because I was like, man, why isn't anybody on the same page as me? Because they were like, no, you're too, I can't remember what they said. They were like, no. So again, racially, or a
little insensitive.
Well, on your end too. Let's not get it crazy too.
Well,
let's not get it twisted on your end as well.
Well, ours is worse. My end is
worse.
Yours
is way worse. So I got a little resistance. It didn't matter to me. I've always been I'm gonna do what I want to do, yeah. And so it didn't matter to me. I was obsessed in love, so it didn't matter to me. Yeah. But I just thought it was funny. So the beginning of our relationship had a little bit of I wouldn't say resistance, because nobody told us no, you can't. But there was there was a lot of suggested.
Why?
Yeah, why? So yeah.
But me too. I didn't even tell my parents. So we started dating late 2015 or something like that, or later. 2015, and I didn't tell my parents till, when did we get married?
2018.
I told my parents 2017.
Yeah, no, you
a whole
year they had no idea.
Yeah, my brother knew, people around me knew, but
just specifically your parents.
And the reason they didn't know was because I just remember. I mean, this is shout out to all the Indian people out there, especially if you're growing up in your first generation. I think majority of people that I've come across have the same issue where from the day you're born, your mom will tell you, do not marry outside your race. Mm-hmm. And it's not I know it sounds so racist, but it's not a racist
I think people
thing.
will understand. It's not trying to be racist. It's just
it's more they came from India, where everyone's Indian and everyone just marries an Indian, and you come to America and you're surrounded by Indian people. So the mindset is it's like little India. Everyone's just going to marry each other. Mm-hmm. And not like on incest type shit, but there's Indians.
Yeah, there's a lot of families
like,
here. Yeah,
you know, if you
especially in Dallas,
if you can't get married, we'll find you an Indian girl. So, you know, growing up, I would always just tease with my mom. I'd be like, you know, I'm gonna marry somebody else. She's like, no, you're not going to. You don't ever come back to this house. Don't ever blah blah blah. This. And I would even bring up like, oh, I'm gonna get a destination wedding. She's like, you're not gonna get a destination wedding.
Oh my god,
all this kind of stuff. So there was when we started dating, that was the hardest thing. Was like. You were always like, why don't you tell your parents?
Yeah, I didn't know culturally why you were not disclosing that information to your parents.
Yeah.
Because I was so used to telling my mom, quickly and everything. So I just thought, especially when we would like drink and I would get like drunk and I'd be like, you don't love me. Like you're not telling your parents about me. It's been so long, blah, blah, blah. And I remember you'd be like, I just remember you.
I just remember one time you did that.
Yeah. You being like, you know, it's just different and it's different. And of course, now I understand, but at the time I had a hard time with it, but I was just like, nope, I'll do whatever. Like I just was.
Yeah, you held on.
I just held on. I just loved it.
And like the way I told my parents is insane. This is how dumb I am. And so we're doing rotations. This is my last year. Yeah. So I told them 2016, right before we graduated, because they met you for the first time during graduation.
Yeah, that's right.
And so right before we graduated, we had a clinical rotation. I'm here in San Antonio, and they use me as an example in PT school of what not to do. So I'm, you know, at my rotation and it's at lunchtime and, you know, we're just throwing around the football. We don't have any patients. And for some reason, I'm going to catch a football. And as a joke, my clinical instructor, the one who's responsible for my education on this rotation, decides to push a treatment table as I'm trying to catch a football. Like we're just like tossing it around nicely and like, maybe like guys just getting a little rough, like messing around, but like nothing like tackle shit or something like that.
Yeah.
This man, I'm not gonna call him out, but he was nice. But throws a table into my body, and I tear my meniscus.
Yeah.
And this is during PT school. And side note, PT school I heard to this day is like when you're on rotation, don't. And they said my name.
Really?
I should call them out because they bring my name up too. Because I've had people come up to you and be like, "Did that actually happen to you?"
Oh wow.
Anyways. Shout out Incarnate Word Physical Therapy. and so, anyways, I'm getting, you know, I have meniscus surgery scheduled in Dallas like a month later. Mm-hmm. And this is how my parents find out about you. I am laying down it's an outpatient procedure. So I'm laying down and my parents are right next to me and they're just, you know, prepping me for surgery. And, you know, they put the IV in me. And then the lady comes by. She's like, okay, you know, we're going to give you a little something that's going to put you to sleep. And for some reason, my mom at that moment is starting to ask me questions like, "Who am I dating?" Like, I don't know.
She's like, "You don't have any girlfriends,
yeah, like,
do you?"
Like I've been awake this whole time. Why are you asking me? Kind of like as they're starting to put.
Or I think she was like, you know, maybe you should start thinking about dating. Or,
like things like that. And I'm like, that's such a weird conversation. And so as I'm falling asleep, I'm like, I am dating. I'm dating a Mexican girl. And remember, this is like, at this time, I'm 28? So it's 28 years of saying, don't you dare. And as I'm going to sleep, as I'm falling asleep, I'm like, I'm dating a Mexican girl. And they just wheel me away. Can you imagine? Like, it's like a TV show, like we're going to commercial break.
Yeah. And then that's a long surgery too. She's probably like, what the?
She's just like, what? And I'm sure my dad's shocked too. He's like, oh my God. I know a little proud. I'm probably like a little proud too. But like, so I get out of surgery and then, you know, all the questions. And I was surprised a lot too. Like they would ask me questions like what my dad asked me a question. He was like, why not an Indian girl? Like he knew some of the girls, like even though I didn't say anything, he knew of some girls.
Yeah.
Didn't know probably the extent of it, but like he asked about one of the girls. He's like, what happened there? And I was like, oh, how did you, was that obvious?
In the church, they know.
And
they know.
Well, none of the girls I went to the same churches.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And my dad worked with her mom, so I don't know if that made a difference.
Oh wow.
And and I told him like, you know, why I didn't work out. He was like, that's a good reason. He's like, you're right. You're right. He's like, you're right. And then, but you know, honestly, they were, once I told them, I think I was just older at that point too, where I was like,
they're probably like, we'll take whoever.
Okay. Okay. But they were like that point. They were like, okay.
I remember when you told after you got out. So
I vividly remember.
We've been together for over a year at this point when he's getting this surgery, and I could not be with him because they didn't know about me. So I'm like there working in my clinical rotation. Like, I hope surgery went well. Like, and so the first text you say is, I told them about you. And I remember I was on my lunch break at Chick-fil-A and I was like, what? And then you told me like I went in before the anesthesia got me and I told them everything. And then I was like, oh my God, okay. So I was really happy. And then you said that they were like not super mad.
Yeah, I mean, how mad could you be at someone after they had surgery?
Yeah, well, there you go. That was a good plan.
If you're ever going to tell your parents, tell them before surgery.
Yeah. And then we went on to like meet them and that.
Well, we meet them. That was funny too. Like I remember bringing you down the first time to meet my family.
Yeah, we were going to go see Ruben in Oklahoma, Ruben and Tina and Addie.
Yeah,
and Addie,
and we we stopped by my parents' place, and like I think it's my parents are so nervous. I mean, I think they would be nervous with any girl coming over, but more so.
Like you've never brought a girl home before in your life.
Well, no, it's not even that. Like it's not so much bringing a girl over because like Ruben's brought Tina over. You know what I mean? Like it's never brought. No one has been brought to the house that's not Indian. Like you've had people come in to work on things in the house, but you never had.
Oh my God!
Like you never had a Mexican girl walk in. That's for marriage for intent.
Yeah, because at that point we were pretty serious, and we were just kind of thinking that it was like end game.
And my parents weren't like, this sounds bad and like a racist comment, but they literally are so nervous. They're like, what should we get for dinner? Should we get Indian food? Should we get this? And I'm like, yeah, Indian food's completely fine. They're just so nervous. And there's a restaurant in like Mesquite. There's a Mexican restaurant there. And they're like, what do you think about Mexican restaurants? Should we get On the Border for her? And like that, like they don't mean to be like that.
John's over here dying.
But it's like they meant like
to make me feel comfortable.
To make you feel comfortable.
Because in their community, they all eat Indian food. So they're like, what does she want on the border?
Yeah. And they just wanted to make sure you were loved, and they wanted
and it was so. I remember that so vividly. Like they were so, and you're always prepping me like, they're going to ask a lot of questions and they're going to be nervous. And I think I like held my own and I did pretty good. And they were like,
everything, obviously,
and so that was like the first time meeting them.
And now it's like,
I talk to them all the time. Like
they'll buy you Indian clothes.
Yeah. Like I just love them to pieces, especially now with this new chapter in our lives with like the diagnosis, and we had the surgery, and now we have Julian. I just feel closer to them, and I feel like they are closer to, and they kind of like get where I'm coming from, and like not that they didn't, but it's just like a closer relationship.
And what's crazy about this whole situation, like in terms of telling my parents and having someone who's not Indian, is I know probably about 4 or 5 people, which is not a large group of people. There's a lot more of Indian men who've married, outside the race. Mm-hmm. And this is one of all those stories. Yeah. Like, it's all the same. Like, you just, it's and that's so crazy because we've all done the same thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just first generation.
I think so. Vibes. Yeah. And I just remember, like, beforehand, we were both nervous, too, because, like, you had never done that before with a girl, like, introduced them to your parents in such a way, and repeatedly, like when we would visit, we'd sit at their house, do the whole thing. So that was like a big part of our love story. And then, and then we got married in 2018, December of 2018. Yeah.
December.
That was a big deal too.
December 7th.
No, December 13th.
I always get mixed with Tishu's wedding. Is it this? You don't remember the date either.
Yes, I do. The 13th. No. Why would I not remember our wedding date? Yes, December 13th. I
feel like when we get around that time, we're like, is it this? You've asked me, is it December 13th or December 12th?
So we got married in Mexico. We did a destination wedding because in your culture and your community, there's so many of you that are supposed to be invited to this wedding. Like your brother had how many people at his wedding?
For sure, like, I don't know the exact amount. It wasn't like thousands, but I want to say like 600 maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong. I forgot. I remember I used to know the number, but It was a lot of people.
Yeah, in Dallas, and you get a ballroom and a hotel.
Like there are people. There was a wedding I went to. This is not my brother's, but there was a wedding I went to with over 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And liquor, like open bar the whole night.
Oh, it's like a huge expense, and it's just like what night. The parents like live their life for,
food,
and
appetizers,
like a big party.
After
Girl, I've been to a number of Indian weddings. They're so fun. I love them, and they always have an open bar.
So like your tab is like could be over $100K.
Oh, easily, yeah. The decor easily, or like to rent out like a ballroom in Dallas.
Maybe rent out the convention center.
Yeah. Huge wedding. So not being from that culture was like, that's too much. I don't know 600. I don't know 300 people.
Barely know 3.
Yeah. So like, I was like, my family is not
you only know the people in this room.
My family is not that big. That community, like, no. And so, and you thought so too. We had your bestie, Tiju.
Oh yeah.
Had a destination wedding a year before, and we were like, "This is awesome. Let's do it." So we did it, and your parents had a hard time with like, "Well, when are we gonna have the ceremony?" And there was just like a lot of traditions that they wanted to uphold,
which we ended up being able to.
We did it all.
We were able to have an Indian festivity and then like just a normal wedding.
Yeah. Well, I have to post it on our Instagram, the C-Word Chronicles podcast. Just like pictures from that. It was so fun. It was such a good time.
And we still had a lot of people. We had like 150, right?
Yeah. We narrowed it down to 150. Yeah.
And
it was so fun. It was such a good time. And I think everybody was happy. Like your parents were happy. My mom was happy.
I love destination because it's like when you with your wedding, let's say you are having like a large group of people, you have one night to spend with all these people.
Yeah.
And like with a destination, people usually spend at least 3 nights, whatever.
Yeah, beforehand and then even after.
And you can have like a before party and everything's cheap. I just remember when we were doing the wedding and like our family split costs, we put in some too. And so for sure our parents put in more than we put in at the time. And I remember telling my dad, like, you know, this is the tab. He's like, oh, he's like, that's not bad. He's like, that's.
He's like, what else you want?
He's like, oh, and we don't come from a lot of money.
My mom too was like, really?
Yeah, and I was like, because I think the weddings so much are like in the 50+ thousand ranges.
I don't know what it ended up being, but it was
ours
affordable.
Was like 36.
Yeah,
and 30 to 36, and like each family put in like 12 or something like that, or 10.
I mean, you can really get a cheap destination wedding. Like ours was like add-ons and decor and floral.
And we had like a welcome party.
And then we did a welcome party. We like upgraded the food and blah, blah, blah. But if you wanted like the basics, you could have a destination wedding for so cheap. Yeah. And like, it's so fun.
I think it's based on the amount of guests too, right? Like we had a lot of guests.
Yeah. So that was like a big thing too, because we blended family and cultures. I wore a lehenga for the reception, which was like gorgeous. Your parents went to India beforehand to get that made and get other stuff for the wedding. And yeah, it was just like so special. It was like such a fun time. Everybody we loved was there. And then we got our house, and that's like and then we had Gigi, and now we're here. So that's like our little how we fell in love, our love story. That's it. Goodbye. Just kidding. Okay, let's move on. So I think let's go over our love languages.
Okay, so I'm not like well versed.
Okay, I'm going to pull it up. John, do you know what a love language is?
Yeah, what's yours, John? Sex. Just physical.
Okay, so the 5 love languages are how they can be applied and optimized. So I just need a good description of what they are. So
I remember you made me take this. Was it a test?
Yeah, I made you take a test, and I think it's very telling.
Failed.
So it's 5 different ways of expressing and receiving love. So this is how you feel loved. So there's 5 of them. Go ahead and read them.
I should retake mine, but I think it's the same.
Go ahead and read the 5.
Number 1, words of affirmation. Number 2, acts of service. 3, gifts. 4, quality touch. Quality time. Quality touch. 4 is quality time. 5 is physical touch.
Okay. And so so your love language is how you receive love. Mm-hmm. So what is yours?
Gifts.
Yours is 100% gifts.
Your Valentine's Day is like, what are you getting me?
Yeah. And it's not like...
even like there had the one birthday where you had everything set up. This is a dick move by me. You had everything set up. Everyone's coming out. And I was like, what'd you get me? And I was like, I didn't get any gift. I was like, why didn't you give me a gift?
I know. I forgot. So that is my last love language is gifts. Yeah. So like that's your first. So it's very hard for me to think with that like cap on. And yours is like 100% gifts. Like I remember when I was working at the clinic and we had like a potluck and somebody brought cupcakes. And I remember telling you we had a good potluck and there were so many cupcakes and they were really good. And you're like, why didn't you bring me any home?
I think I'm so used to it because my mom would go to work and then bring home any leftovers.
Yeah.
Like even the nurses at the nursing home that I was working at, like any little food they have, they'll be like, they'll freaking hoard that thing and take it home to their kids.
And to me, I'm like, yeah. So I'm awful at it, but you know, we've been married for so long, we've been together for so long. I've gotten better at trying to get. It's not gifts. It's not like it's not expensive gifts. It's the thought of me thinking about you to get you like a gift.
Correct. It's the attempt.
And it's not. It's like if I'm. Which I suck at. Like if I was out running errands all day and I stopped to get food, I should have gotten you food.
Well, it depends on the situation. If I'm like sitting at home and I'm like, man, there's nothing to eat at home, and you're going to get food for yourself, I'm like, yeah, just go ahead and pick me up something too.
Yeah, it's just so hard, and that's definitely your number one love language. Sure.
And yours is?
Mine has changed now that I'm a mom.
What?
Yeah.
You retook the test?
Is
it a test or is it a book?
I think it's a test. I think it's just like a Q&A thing, like a survey. Yeah. I think mine before I was a mom, mine was words of affirmation and physical touch. Like
A+ there.
Like I just liked to hear how much you love me and hear like how great of a person I am. Yeah. And I needed your like verbal support. And then I just liked like holding hands and just being like close and touchy-feely. Now that I'm a mom, I feel like my number one love language is acts of service. Like if you take out Judy's poopy ass diaper genie trash bag, that's like so major to me.
Take the trash out on Tuesday.
Yeah, or just like any type of acts of service, like cleaning the car or like doing things that like, you know, where you think of me and that's like a thing you can.
Did I tell you I cleaned the Tesla?
No.
Okay.
You just did it right now? Oh my God. Just trying to recover from your shitty gift thing.
I made good food.
Yeah. So anything like that, acts of service is a big thing now that I'm a mom. And I feel like a lot of moms would think that too.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so. Just because you're so like...
Not the MILFs.
Just because you're so...
Well, there's could be active service too.
Sure.
In all types of ways.
Just because I think you're so busy being a mom and like running around trying to just make it. And then when somebody does something of service, it's so helpful and makes me feel so loved. I can't remember what you did the other day where I was like, oh my God.
That's an act.
It was some act of service, and I can't remember what it was.
I didn't mean to say MILFs. I meant to say single mothers. MILFs is not a single mother. Doesn't always mean the same thing. Sorry. But yeah, what did I do the other day?
I don't remember. It wasn't that
great of act.
I don't remember, but I do remember feeling very loved after you did something. Yeah. Usually something around the house. Or even
was I building like a fence, like some like hard man work?
No. Even like when you like renew my license plates or like do registration or shit that I hate doing. Like, it's always nice. I always feel loved.
Speaking of which, I got to change the air filters in the house.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the love language that I think a lot of people's love languages are so interesting. I ask everybody, and John, we're going to have to get a recap next episode. We'll put your love languages in.
I swear it's physical touch for sure.
And then our astrology sign. What's your sign?
That's the Scorpio.
You are a Scorpio, and I'm a Pisces. Scorpion. So we're both water signs, which
and I can't swim.
And Juju's a water sign.
Yeah, what is he? Labia?
He's a Pisces. Labia. Oh my God.
Libra.
He's a Pisces. So we're all water signs. We're very like chill, go with the flow, except Scorpion is a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more feisty. And I would say that's pretty dead on.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And I think water signs are very compatible with other water signs. Yeah, my parents are water signs.
What's my parents?
I don't know. I think your mom's a Libra, and I think your dad's a Capricorn.
Are they water too?
That's not water. Clearly, you know nothing about any of these signs.
I like reading them, though.
Yeah.
That's horoscopes.
Horoscopes, yeah.
What's zodiac, then?
I think that's isn't that the same thing?
I don't know, but I like reading horoscopes.
Okay,
not horoscopes, horoscopes.
Let's read your horoscope really quick.
Yeah, like the daily one. Let's see if my day was right. What if it's like you will die soon?
Okay, your heart may be especially sensitive today, Scorpio. You may feel a bit vulnerable.
Really?
Your romantic nature is particularly strong. Ooh. So treat yourself to a pampered evening, including a good meal with someone you love. That's our Valentine's Day plans.
Yeah. And I did do a cold plunge today.
Yeah. All relationships with women will go smoothly. Now.
What can I say?
You might want to give your mother a call if you haven't spoken with her in a while. She would love to hear from you.
I talked to her too.
That is so cute. Goodness. Look at that. Okay, let me do mine.
Okay. What's John? John, are you water?
He's Sagittarius. He has the same birthday as my brother.
What? That's water too?
No. Okay, let's go over it. Water signs are...
Like, why is a scorpion water? A scorpion would die in water.
No, because they live in water.
Scorpions?
Yes.
Scorpions live in water?
Like, they like the water. It's Scorpio, Cancer, which is a crab, and Pisces, which is the fish. Water signs.
I did not know a scorpion lived in water.
Yeah. Okay.
Fact check that.
Anyways, what's my horoscope today? Pisces horoscope. The bizarre nature of the day may leave you feeling a bit bewildered.
Oh, that's kind of on point.
Yeah, I was very bewildered today. Don't sweat it. Wow. Focus on your romantic nature and incredibly nurturing heart. Use your instinctive healing abilities to care for a close friend in need. Today is an especially good day to connect with others and openly share your feelings.
Anything about your husband in there?
Confide in people you trust. Consider calling your mom.
Really?
All of them just say consider calling your mom.
The author of that.
So, yeah, I feel like we're very compatible sign-wise and just personality type-wise, too. We're, like, very in sync most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to go ahead and take the next one.
So I'm going to go on to our top 5 love songs. And I had to make sure when I asked you this morning, what do you mean by love songs? It's not like love making songs, just songs about love.
Not baby making songs.
Like just songs about love,
just
right?
Like good love songs.
So I have a sort of a long list, but I don't think this is like
how
all
many
inclusive.
do you have?
I have 5, but I have other ones like runner-ups that probably should be in the 5, but I feel like I'm missing some anyways.
List them all first.
And this is no particular order. Rendezvous by Craig David. I used to have that on repeat all the time.
Okay.
So I think it deserved in there for how much of a role it played. And then you have The Party After the Party by The Weeknd.
Okay.
That's been on repeat. You Make Me Wanna by Usher. You Make Me Wanna.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have Exchange by Bryson Tiller. So
okay.
this is like some of these in there, I'm like, I don't know, but the vibe is like love. You know what I mean?
Okay, we'll look up the lyrics in a minute. We'll see if this is appropriate to read.
Oh, are we reading lyrics?
I just want to...
Oh, then let me add this one in because I want you to read the lyrics.
Okay.
Or Nah, The Weeknd.
Or The Weeknd is Little Lover Boy for sure.
Have you heard that, John? Or Nah? The Weeknd's part?
Is that it?
Is that 5? Yeah. Then there's other ones too, like, but.
Baby, are you lying? Or not The Weeknd?
Yeah. Like the vibe of the song is about love. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
Really?
Girl, made that ass clap for Young Dollar Sign. You already know my money go a long time.
Yeah, but when you say like if you sing it,
I think it's his tone.
That's what
like
I'm saying.
it's very like it's a pretty song, but baby, the lyrics.
That's what I'm saying.
Mine, and then the end of it.
Okay, the or not.
Gun make that ass clap. Mama made that ass clap.
It's about love.
No,
like you love her so much.
What's a for real one so I can pull up?
Well, I actually just have that on my list. Come Through and Chill, Miguel, or Rendezvous, Craig David.
Miguel's on mine too. Rendezvous. what you do? Let me see. 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's sleep. There's a beautiful. Oh, that's cute. Okay.
Can you read them?
6 o'clock in the morning. Wipe the sleep from my eye. I don't know this song. Can we play it? I guess it won't show up, or it won't. We won't hear it on the mic. I don't know how to do all that yet.
Check out "Rendezvous" by Craig David.
Yeah.
Guys.
Felt like just an ordinary day, just around the corner. Such a surprise. A beautiful angel materialized. Time stood still, face to face. I'm sure we'd meet in another time.
Anything Craig David really is a good
I love
choice.
Craig David. Yeah. Okay, that's cute. Okay, so list them.
Okay. Do I include or not in there?
No, Bam.
Oh, that's not a love song. "Rendezvous." I mean, the party after the party. I like that song.
Okay.
"You Make Me Wanna" by Usher. "Exchange" Bryson Tiller.
Okay.
I don't really know the word. I know the words of the song, but I don't know what they mean. And come through and chill, Miguel. And then you know who's a good artist that I included in here? There's a song called "Memories" by DVSN. Do you remember DVSN?
Oh yeah.
We went to a Miguel concert,
DV.
and DVSN was the opening act. And
Isn't it Dan?
So
okay.
no, it's not even called DVSN. I'm saying it because we kept calling him DVSN, but it's called Division. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
But they have some great songs. So
yeah,
like
they
"Memories"
do.
is a great one, and some other ones. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's some Khalid ones. Not DJ Khalid, but Khalid. Whatever.
Oh, I like him too. Yeah, he has some good ones. Okay, you want to hear mine?
No.
Okay, so you're supposed to ask me.
Yeah, what was yours?
So my top,
We're complete opposite.
I have top 4 because I forgot to prep for this, so this was kind of on the cuff. In no particular order, "Love on the Brain" by Rihanna.
Yeah. I think she sang that too, right?
Yeah, that one.
That was a good song.
She sang that when?
Halftime?
Maybe she did. Yeah, that's a good one. And then I cannot remember what our wedding song was.
Wasn't it?
But it's a nice love song.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I cannot remember. It's "Stand by Me." Stand by Me.
Yeah.
Stand by Me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was about to say
another one. And then "At Last" by Etta James.
I feel like her name is Etta St. James.
No, just Etta. And that's like an old class. There's a big wedding song. And then Miguel, "Sure Thing." I gotta pull up the lyrics.
These are all kind of oldie ones. You don't have any new ones?
No. I love the Miguel "Sure Thing" song is super trending on TikTok. And I just love it. I think it's so sweet. It's treat you like if you be the cash, I'll be the rubber man. You be the match, I'll be a fuse boom. Painter baby, you could be the muse. I'm the reporter baby, you could be the news.
Cigarette.
You're the cigarette and I'm the smoker. Yeah. We raise a bet because you're the joker. Checked off, you are the chalk. And I can be the blackboard and you can be the talk and I can be the walk. Even when the sky comes falling.
Wait, what did you say there? You can be the chalkboard. What's a chalkboard?
You checked off, you are the chalk. And I can be the blackboard. You can be the talk. And I can be the walk. Even when the sky comes falling, even when the sun don't shine, I got faith in you and I.
You can read these lyrics, but you can't read or not.
So put your pretty little hand in mine. Even when we're down to the wire, babe, even when it's do or die, we can do it, baby. Simple and plain. Because this love is a sure thing. Period.
Make that ass lip.
Okay, 120. Okay, so those are mine. And then let's do like tell me what your favorite dates are.
Like dates of the year? I love President's Day.
What we like to do for dates.
Honestly, it's more, especially with Julian, more chill vibes. So like I think recently, like Valentine's Day, we're just eating in. Not eating in. We're like
making dinner. We love to do that.
But a good date is more so, I don't know, how would you describe it?
I used to love going to the movies. So before COVID kind of killed the movie theaters, but we used to love going to like the movies and maybe like dinner before. And then when we were not married, not with Gigi, we would do like a date at a bar, like drink a lot and then go out with friends and all of that stuff too. That was really fun. Yeah. And then we used to like going to like farmers market. Not used to, like we still do, but like that was like a cool date vibe.
I feel like we're more the type of like vibe restaurants if we're going to date, like everyone's talking. There's things going on.
Yeah.
Like that's everybody, maybe.
Yeah. I don't really like doing like, I guess it's more like a first date
like
thing.
Bowling.
Yeah, like I don't like bowling.
Or like mini golf.
Right. Or like, sometimes they go crazy and they're like, you want to go skydiving? Like, I don't want to do that. Please. No, thank you. I want to
kill myself.
And also, like, I think this is a big thing and point of contention, but I'm not big on a hike.
Yeah, I'm not a hiker.
Like,
There's a lot of people that do.
There's a ton of people that do, and I get it. It's like on the weekend.
Like the one time I hike, I sprained my ankle.
Really? Yeah, like it's just like a lot. It's like a long. It's like
freaking rock was in the way.
A long thing, and it's exhausting.
Everyone was coupled up, right? Except for Joby.
Yeah.
And we all were like, "There's a nice path. You just follow the path on the hike." I don't understand why we got to cross boundaries and climb down a cliff now.
Dude, I have a scar still on the back of my leg from sliding down a cliff.
From that thing?
Yeah, remember it got like bloody and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I sprained my ankle too.
Yeah. So that hike was like, I don't think that's what people. Yeah, I guess that is like the hike vibe. That was like an activity that took 6 hours because we got lost. But like, people are like, oh yeah, we went on a hike for like a first date or whatever. It's like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. I'm more like a brunch, sit me down, get me a drink, mimosa, some pancakes, and like we can converse there and then go to the next.
And then go to like to drink some more at like some other location.
But like, don't put me down for a hike. I'm just not about it.
Unless you're hiking to like a bar.
Exactly. And then anything else? I think that's it. So we talked about our relationship, the troubles and trials and tribulations of being together, our love story, our love languages.
Yep.
Our top 5 love songs and our dates.
Yeah. And then I go to Houston next week. I'm gonna do my best to film it.
Yes, I've been trying to get Rib to document more like about his stuff so we can put it on our YouTube and then on our Insta and TikTok and make content. Like I'm so used to making content for everything that I'm like, you got to start making content. I would do it for you, but I can't go with you to do all the things. So you got to do it.
I got you, all the fans out there. Don't you worry. I will not let you down.
Yeah. So radiation starts Monday. Right?
Yeah.
So wish him luck. Hopefully
I'll be naked on the table somewhere one day.
With your tattoos showing.
Just think of me.
And then we'll follow up next week and keep you posted about everything else.
Oh, maybe next week. I have a radiation next week.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I don't know if we'll get to record next week. But we'll check in at some point sooner or later. We're gonna go enjoy our Valentine's Day, get some chocolate covered strawberries that are waiting for us. I hope y'all have a great Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
We love y'all. Valentine's. Thank you for supporting us so far. It's so weird because we haven't released these yet, so we're talking to like this invisible audience. But I'm sure
there's going to be thousands of people by now.
I don't know, but I'm sure there's going to be people who really feel connected to us. So I feel like we should give them some love too for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll check y'all next week. Bye, guys.